What's up? What's up? It's your boy Corey B. So check it out. What I want to talk to you about today is this idea of perfection and polished like business owners. The reality is that, yeah, sometimes you got all your game tight, right? You got everything together, you got everything working, and everything's firing on all cylinders, and everything's like just, you know what I'm saying? It seems like business is just rocking, and your life is synced up with it, right? And you think things are moving well. But you know what? I would say way more than half the time, it's not like that. Way more than half the time, it's a mess. Probably like 70, 80, maybe 90% of the time, it's chaos. It's a wreck. And you know what? That's okay. The thing is when you're running your own business, it never really ends. It just doesn't. So some people got this idea of that like, oh, well, I see it on social media all the time. I definitely see it on Instagram and Facebook and things like that, where there's like this concept of the business owner. So, they have their own business, or they're the entrepreneur, or they're, self-employed, and they look at it as like, oh, well, it's this perfect thing. It must be nice because you can just do what you want. It must be nice because you got this and you got that, and this works and that works. The reality is, you know what? It takes effort. And not only does it take effort, but it's messy. Like I mean for real messy. Like your boy, I like structure, I like order, I like cleanliness. I don't like chaos. I mean, I kind of enjoy a little bit of chaos because I kind of thrive under chaos. It's exciting. It's like a challenge, you know what I mean? But I like order. I like to have that routine in my business. I like to have that routine in my life. I like to know that things are lined up and things are working, and I like to know that I have a routine, for the plain and simple fact that I can look back and say, hey, it worked. Because sometimes when I don't have that routine, I'm like, is it working? Is it not working? I mean, I don't really know how it's even going, because where should I be and where am I at? Okay, so I'm sure a lot of you have that problem also, where you're like kind of, am I making progress? Am I doing well? Am I getting to that next level? Am I making these strides in a timely manner? I see what he's doing. I see what she's doing. I look on social media. I'm on these online forums so that way I can get inspiration and motivation. I can get advice, tips, things like that. But all I'm kind of doing is seeing everybody polished, everybody neat, and it's kind of making me a little crazy because I'm like, I'm not there. I'm not there, right? Okay. I'm gonna break it down for you. Our life has been pretty crazy, right? For those who have not been tuned in, for the last 2.5 years, me and Kimberly have been traveling on the road with our two boys, homeschooling them. I'm working on the road with them. I'm working remotely with my partners back in Texas, in addition to doing investing and trading and creating content. And I'm creating content with my boys for their channels, but I do have a manager who manages both of my channels, which does absolutely help. But that's an expense. That costs money. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much things that go into what we're doing, and there's been so many things that we've lived in Airbnbs, hotels, as we've been in these different environments over the last 2.5 years while she's been traveling, like from month to month, day to day, week to week. Sometimes we got little to no notice that it was time to move. We had to pack up and bounce, right? And so we kept things real minimalistic. Now we've got our first apartment that we've had, our first home, right? Because we've decided Gillette is our new home. Here in Wyoming, we are staying, right? We're not going back to Texas. So with that being said, like, we're happy, but there's a whole lot to get a house in order, apartment in order, after we've been living so minimalistic because we've been living in Airbnbs and hotels. Now we're trying to get things out of storage and trying to figure things out and try to, get furniture, dig through our storage and make life make sense, but not take everything all out at once, because we just don't have that kind of time, to be honest. Nor do we really have the kind of space that we had back when we were in Austin in our big house. Now we're looking to get a big house. We're looking to get a big property. But for right now, this is our new place. And we love it. We're so happy. But things are chaotic. Amidst those Airbnbs, in the last 1.5 years, we have dealt with a house fire in one. Got repositioned into a hotel, and then got into another Airbnb, only to have it flood and got put out into another hotel again. Now, like I said, we're in our apartment. This is our place, and it's super awesome. I have my own office. I haven't had my office since I was in Austin. I love this. But don't think it's polished and pretty because it's not. Check this. Look, I've got stuff everywhere. I've got chaos everywhere. Do I like it? No. Is it working? Yes. I'm making it work for the moment. Right now, I'm just letting it happen. It's okay. It's not the end of the world to be a little chaotic, a little messy, things to be a little hectic. You know, I know what's what. I know where things are. I know how things are happening. And what I'm ultimately doing is I'm managing my time as best as I reasonably can from day to day. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to block my time off today. I'm going to work on listing some of the inventory so I want to liquidate all the inventory that I have because I'm tired of reselling. It's not for me anymore. Those who want to do it, more power to you because it's great. It can be super fun. My uncle did it for 20 something years and he loved it. It was like he was in the early 2000s. He was making over 60K a year working about 5-6 hours a day. Or 5-6 hours a week. Now some people say 60K is not that much, but when you're a second income family, my aunt was working a lot and he was making 60K working about 6 hours a week. I mean, it's pretty good, right? I mean, if you look at it like that, you break it down 60K times, it's like 6 hours. He was making good money. And I remember I worked with him for a little while and we hustled, and you can go back and find one of my other posts. We made $11,000. We had an $11,000 week. That was incredible. It was absolutely awesome. Like I said, mind you, this was back in about 11 years ago. So 11 years ago, 11K in a week was different than 11K right now. The world's different. But like I said, reselling's not for me anymore. Those of y'all who are interested in reselling, I just had somebody hit me up on Threads and ask me they wanted some tips. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure you go back and look through some of my old videos because I give lots of videos about reselling because I think it's something really easy that if you just know the way to approach it, you can make good money and you can do it as just a side hustle, just a side gig, just something to supplement your income, make a little extra for the family. Or it could be, you could turn it into a legit business. Lots of people do. I did it all the way through my college and everything like that. My uncle did. I've known a couple people who did. But anyways, it's not for me anymore. I've got bigger and better things. That I'm growing a business. I'm working with my partners back in Texas. I'm growing our investment portfolio, and I'm continuing to get better and better at trading on a daily basis. That's just where my heart, my passion is I'm a hustler by nature, and I don't want to hustle small items anymore. I want bigger, so that's where I'm at. So I'm trying to liquidate, right? So I'm going through all my old inventory that I pulled out of storage. I got stuff piled up over here. I got some stuff right behind the camera on this table here. I got some stuff over here. This is actually office stuff over here that I need to get unpacked. It's like books and files and things like that. And ultimately, I got this cool shelf that I got all set up. It's nothing fancy. It's just a bookshelf. I kept it minimum. I think Kimberly found me a great deal. It was actually on sale for like $38. I didn't break the bank. You don't got to break the bank and make your place crazy to have a nice little office. So I'm going to do another video on that later about decorating and organizing your office like on a budget. You can ultimately build your office in your dining room, in your den, in your, in a nook in your house. I had a nook in our kitchen back home where it was like a little breakfast nook right off the kitchen before you got to the dining room and before you got to the living room. It was really interesting, but that breakfast nook turned out to be a perfect spot for me to do content and for me to set up shop a little bit. So you find a spot in your house and you can ultimately do that without taking up an incredible amount of space. And you can also do it without breaking the bank. So I want to talk about that. Stay tuned for that one as well. But like I said, right now what I'm just talking about is just being messy. Don't allow it to permeate. Don't allow it to fester. Don't allow it to grow, right? Don't allow your mess to mutate into a living force that consumes your life, your existence, and ultimately gets in your family's way. That's not the goal. That's not the plan at all. But if you're messy for a moment, let it be messy. So you can get some structure, so you can get some time, so you can allow yourself that freedom and that wiggle room, allow yourself some grace and understanding to say, today I'm not cleaning. Today I've got to get some work done. Tomorrow I'm going to clean a little, but I still got to get some work done. So you organize and clean, but you time block. You block off your time, say, how am I going to organize my time so that way I can get through what is most important, making money. My uncle was a guy who lived in constant chaos and constant mess. I knew another guy that was a reseller. It caused some problems with his family because he was so messy, and it kind of spread throughout the house. That's not who you want to be. You're ultimately trying to provide for your family, trying to do better for your family, not cause tension and strife. But give yourself some grace. My mama always told me, she'd call me and she'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to get some work done. I got to go work out in a minute, and then I got to try to clean the house, and I got to do some laundry. And I still got to go to my job because at the time I was still working a 9-to-5 job. It wasn't 9 to 5. I was working evenings. But, you know, you get the point. I was working a regular job. I was a head cook at a kitchen cafe down in South Austin. And my mom would always tell me, she'd be like, sometimes you got to give yourself a break, Corey. Like, sometimes if you work so hard to get the house clean, it's just going to be dirty tomorrow. And she wasn't wrong. And my mom was someone who, like, perpetually kept the house, like, incredibly tidy. I don't know how I could ever live up to her standards. But she was right. If I don't get it all finished today, there is always tomorrow to finish. So focus on what's most important. What's going to make you money. Trade. You're not in the point of residual income yet. You're not in the point of having that cash flow. You're in a point for trading time for dollars. So if you're trading time for dollars, the time you put in is going to get you dollars. Then ultimately you got to focus on making the most dollars for the least amount of time that you can. And then you can time block some time later. Say, now I got an hour, I'm going to organize some things. Now I got an hour, I'm going to clean up. Now I got 20 minutes. That's it. Today was a hectic day today. I had too much going on. The kids need. Look, listen to that. I don't know if you can hear that, but my boys are literally in the other room right now. They're playing the video games. The video games are loud. They've been watching cartoons, playing video games, doing kind of stuff all day long. And it's been noisy, and it's been cool. It's been hectic. It's been crazy. It's been summertime, man. They should be having fun. They've been outside almost every day this week, so today they just want to lounge inside, and you know what? I'm okay with that. It's no big deal. But working from home, that means I got that added distraction. I got that added noise, and you know what? I'm not even bothering to try to close the door and be like, you know what, I do that a lot of times. I'll close the door and be like, hey guys, I got 15 minutes, I'm gonna do a video. I got half an hour, I need you to let me do some content. I need this, I need that. You know, and they're real cool and they're real understanding, and sometimes I incorporate them into my videos. If you've watched them, you should know that. But, and go back and check them out if you haven't, man. I make lots of great content and lots of great videos and lots of fun, cute things where my boys pop up in there. But the thing is it doesn't always have to be polished. It doesn't always have to be perfect. And I think it's important that people know that, because people see people on social media and they think everybody's like, oh, it's just, I couldn't be Warren Buffett. I couldn't be Mark Cuban. I couldn't be, Kevin O'Leary. I couldn't be, Elon Musk. It's like, these guys got this together, they got that together. And the minute you find out a flaw, everybody wants to find out, oh, you're not going to believe what Elon Musk did. You're not going to believe what Mark Zuckerberg did. You're not going to believe what Warren Buffett did. Well, Warren Buffett, I don't think he's ever done anything that was newsworthy. But people turn it into a scandal when they have a flaw, because they're expected to be perfect, polished. Damon John, he's on Shark Tank, and he's the founder and creator of FUBU. He wears these big square diamond earrings, studs. And it's interesting because he actually wore them on the very first taping when they didn't know if the show was going to go anywhere. He wore it on there, and when he wore it on there, he wore them that day because he knew that he was flying into town to do the filming, and he had some buddies into town. So after that, they were supposed to go out to a club for one of the guys' birthdays or whatever, or something like that. I think that's how the story went. And so he had those studs in because he wasn't even thinking about the airing of the recording. He dressed for the club. He dressed for his homeboys, right? And then they said they liked it. So the producers came to him and the network said, you got to wear those all the time now. That's your thing now. And so it's like, there's a lot of thought and stuff that goes into these people when they're on social media, when they're on a show, when they're anywhere. There's a lot of thought. People are polished. And a lot of content creators spend a lot of time polishing themselves and polishing the editing and making everything so perfect. Not me. And the reason is because two reasons. First of all, I got too many things going on to spend so much time in editing and polishing and all that nonsense. Second, I want to be real. I want to be authentic. I want to show y'all that, you know what? I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I'm just like you. We all got flaws. We all got messes. We all got mistakes. We all got whatever, you know what I mean? I got, like I said, look at the chaos in this room. And it's like, you know what? And dude, it was wall-to-wall boxes like week before last. I got rid of the boxes. I broke down things. I unpacked things. I organized some things, and I put some stuff back into my storage trailer that's downstairs in the parking lot. And ultimately, I made my place more functional. Now, I'm still trying to get through some more of this stuff. And this week, I'm going to be going down to Texas for my brother's wedding. And so when I get back, I'm going to be working on getting some actual furniture in here. Some more furniture besides this plastic table and just a wooden shelf and that like table in the corner. It's like a planter table I got from my mama. I mean, it's like, I'm making it work though. That's the thing, is I'm making what I got work for now because my focus is money right now. Time is money. Actually, you know what? That phrase is wrong. Time isn't money. Time is so much more valuable than money. And that's why I got to utilize the little time that I spend making as much money as possible so I don't lose any more time, because money I can always get more of and time I can't. We say that phrase. So many of us slip of the tongue and say time is money, but time's not. Time's not money. Time's so valuable. Don't waste it making silliness, doing silly things that aren't making you money, that aren't fulfilling your life and having time with your family. I got time with my boys. I got time with my wife. I'm looking forward to have time with my family in Texas next week. Look, y'all just make the most of your minutes. They're valuable. They're valuable. So if it's a mess, let it be a mess. You'll get through it. Tomorrow's another day. It's your boy. I hope this gives you some kind of insight and inspiration and motivation. It's not easy to start and launch your own business. It's not easy to run a business out of your house, but anybody can do it. I'll show you how. Be sure you stay tuned. It's your boy, and I'm out.